We have our best offer yet on poodlecfb.com right now until the launch of CFB 26. If you use code LAUNCH with a capital L, you will get $50 off the annual plan. And if you're into the monthly plan, if you use code LAUNCH 2025 capital L, you will get $5 off the monthly plan. Guys, these discounts are recurring. So the beauty of this is if you lock yourself in now, you'll have it for the remainder of CFB 25 and CFB 26 and beyond that. So make sure to sign up right now. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Poodle back with another CFB video, and in today's video, I'm gonna be going over the greatest day one recruiting method for CFB 26. So guys, we somewhat have a secret deal running over on poodlecfb.com. A lot of you may not know this, and this is why I'm telling you about it now. Over on Twitter and our YouTube community section, I did run a Father's Day 48-hour flash sale. It was $60 off the annual plan or $6 off the monthly. Biggest sale to date. If you use code Father's Day, capital F, capital D, you did get the $60 off the annual plan. If you use code Father's Day 2025, capital F, capital D, you get $6 off the monthly. Now, I did end it for people on Twitter and YouTube. Technically, it's still running, but I realized that people who strictly just watch my videos and don't keep up with my Twitter or my community posts, you probably missed out on this deal. So I'm extending it to you guys. You should be seeing this video probably Friday. And if you are, keep it between us. I'm going to keep it open till then. To them, I told them to be done by 11 a.m. on, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday. But I'm keeping it open for you guys on Friday. So make sure to take advantage of it. I'll let this run for about 2 days through the weekend probably. And then I'm going to drop it. So if you're watching this video Friday, maybe even Saturday, get in while you still can. It's the best sale of the year. You don't want to miss it. Check it out, guys. And then, of course, if you are watching this video late, code LAUNCH, capital L, get you $50 off, and code LAUNCH 2025 gets you $5 off. Very similar deals, but Father's Day is going to be the best sale prior to the CFB 26 launch, so don't miss out, guys. Let's get into it. So, guys, I've been doing some thinking. I talked about it in some previous videos. I hinted at this idea. What is a day one recruiting method? Let me start there. Why I'm dropping this is because day one recruiting is going to be very different than day 15, day 30. Why is that? People are going to start their leagues right off rip. And the way you recruit the first season or two is very different than the strategy you're going to take in seasons 3 and on. And what does that even mean? For all you guys who have been watching me, you should have an idea where I'm going with this. Your coaching build is not going to be set day one. There is a real different way that you approach recruiting when you are playing day one, no coaching build, no nothing. So let's go over some of the changes in this game and how it's going to benefit you. So day one, first 2 seasons, you're not going to have any coaching abilities. You're not going to have any of the elite recruiter stuff. You're not going to know what the best packages are. So don't even bother trying to go that route right away. All you need to do those first 2 seasons, and these are going to be crucial seasons, is going to be to set yourself up for success long-term in your league. There's 2 ways to do that. First, assuming elite recruiter is still a thing, going for elite recruiter with top 5 classes, I assume it is still a thing. What that means is you're going to want to be efficient as possible years 1 and 2. It's not about just talent. It's about being efficient. Now, on the flip side, whoever recruits the best the first 2 seasons typically gets a crazy head start. Whether you're a great team or if you guys are doing small schools, whoever gets that head start on recruiting and understanding how to do it the right way is going to have a huge advantage long term. So what is my greatest day one recruiting method? Assuming, again, the first 2 seasons, you're not going to have a great coaching package. Now, I will be putting out an updated recruiting method of this once the game comes out and how I want to utilize it once you have your ideal build. But this is for day one when you don't have your ideal build. So when you're recruiting, again, I'm going to be coining this term. You guys have been hearing me all year. I coin a lot of terms. This is going to be called my layered recruiting method approach. I hinted at it in a few other videos. I didn't go all the way in depth. So this video is purely about me really breaking it down for you and breaking down the math. So I'm going to be using a school with 900 hours, as you see. This applies to every hour's worth of schools, but my math is going to apply to 900. So assuming day one, you have 50 hours with a 900 school, that can get you 18 recruits at send the house 50 max. If you're a school that has 450, that's half. That's 9 recruits, so on and so forth. So just utilize this math based on what you're doing and kind of just ratio everything I'm saying. I'm going to go off this school, but let's get into it. So layered recruiting. How does this work? As you guys know, the biggest new addition, or one of the biggest new additions, is that there's going to be a proximity bonus. So as you guys know behind my head, if I drop the webcam for a second, you're going to see all of these deal breakers. Proximity to home is one of them. So this year, proximity to home, the only thing it really did for you was, well, it did 2 things. First, if you were close somewhere, likely you had a great pipeline for them, like a 5, because they're local to you. Second, if they had a deal breaker for proximity to home, you were likely high on their board if the closer you were to them. That was really the biggest things here. Next year is going to have a very key recruiting aspect. So when you guys are applying visits, as you know, they cost 40 points per player. I've went through this, not going to go into depth on it, but they cost 40 points per player. So let's say you're recruiting someone, and we're going to go with 50-point baseline. This is day one, where you likely have 50 on a lot of guys, maybe 60. Let's say it's day one, and you have 50 points from the house. If you want to place a visit on them, come like the 2nd, 3rd, 4th week you advance, you would need to apply 40 extra points to them. So that's 90 points per recruit. So let's break out the calculator. Let's say you have 900 hours. For each one at 50, you'd be able to get 18 recruits on them. 18 recruits at 50. Let's say you want to apply visits now, you can't have 18 recruits. If you want to get a visit on each one, you'd basically have to break that down to 10 recruits, which is not enough for a top 5 class. You're going to need those 15, you're going to need those 18 recruits. So what changed this year was that there is a proximity bonus for visits. There's an incentive for going to homegrown players. So when you go to your prospect list and you look at your recommended, a lot of times they give you these 5s. So my layered approach is going to be about day 1. Remember, once your ideal coach is in, don't refer to this video as much. I'm going to have an updated video, but once your ideal coach is in by year 3 or 4, I'm going to have an updated video for the ideal coach recruiting method, which is going to apply to your packages and how to dominate people. But this is going to give you such a head start on being able to get your top 5 classes and setting your foundation while everyone else is playing the game the wrong way. So with the way that you're going to have a visit bonus now for proximity, the visit bonus basically is less points. So let's say this guy Akeem Drugsma is in Louisiana and I'm LSU. I have a 5-star pipeline bonus. To apply a visit to a player in the 5-star, it'll be like 10 points as per the blog. To apply one to a 3, it might be like 15 or 20. To apply a visit to a player who's not in your pipeline at all, like Ballage right here, Balaj, safety, it would cost you a full 40. So what does that mean? It means playing for players out of pipeline are going to be tougher. They might be saying, okay, well, you don't always need a visit to win. Now, my caveat to this is going to be this. Yes, in last year's game, or CFB 25, you didn't always need a visit to win because a lot of people also were playing the points game. Like, I don't have 40. Not everyone was applying a visit to everyone. They were picking their spots. And quite honestly, let's say you were in a spot where no one else placed a visit for quarterback, but then one team came in with a visit. Basically, everyone else had to apply a visit for the most part if it was a tight race because now they were going to beat you with that visit. And some people made huge comebacks with visits. Visits played a very, like, wild card, joker card-esque role in recruiting. So this year, with this proximity bonus, now you might be saying, okay, well, what if there's no visits? Here's the caveat. Quite honestly, considering you're going to have an easy bonus for local recruits, I imagine all local schools will get a visit on most of their local guys. And that's going to be the problem. So let's say you really like this guy, Balaj. I believe that's MO, Missouri. So let's just say Missouri, you're going against Missouri here. You place it on him. He's a 40 visit. You don't want to do it. That's fine. But then schools that have the Missouri pipeline or local schools will just place a free visit on him for 10 points because they can. Why not? So basically, when you're going against out-of-pipeline players, they're going to be getting their visits so free that you're going to see a lot of visits on players. You're going to see a lot more visits on players this year. So you're going to have to play this game too. Now, essentially, day 1, when you don't have the ideal packages, the ideal coach, I'm going to be taking a layered approach where I'm actually going to be utilizing a lot more of my homegrown pipeline guys in the first few seasons while I'm building up Elite Recruiter and getting my packages until I can fight outside of pipeline. But think about it this way. Let's do some math. Let's say you do 18 guys. 18 guys, and you want to give them all a visit. 18 times 10 would be 180 points. So it would cost you only 180 points to give all of your recruits a visit. To get enough points for that, let's say you had 18 guys, you'd only have to drop 3 to 4 guys, 150 to 200 points. So that means that you could recruit fully 14 guys, 14 total guys, and give all 14 or so a visit. Now remember, if you're dropping guys, it'll be even less because 18 times 10 is 180. If you drop 4, that's 4 less visits. That's 140. So you could drop 3 guys and give 14 guys a visit, which means your entire recruiting board basically gets a visit. That's elite. Absolutely elite. But let's say you were just doing a bunch of guys out of pipeline. 40 times 18 would cost you approximately 720. That is more than triple. That is basically quadruple the amount that it would cost you. So in the first 2 seasons, I'm full-blown going what I'm going to call the layered approach. The layered approach is going to be me. Basically, let's say I'm bringing in 18 total recruits to start. As you guys know, we always take players off the board. We'll start off with having like 18 on the board, fully scouted, fully sent. And then after a week, you drop out of some because you know you're going to lose them. But we're going to start with 18. Well, my layered approach is basically this. I'm going to make about 60 to 75% of my board, maybe even 70 to 80 of that first season, all 5-star recruit, all 5-star pipeline guys. 5 stars, 4 stars, you know, whatever it be, whatever's in your pipeline. So I'd start with this. Let's just say, right? About, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 guys in my 5 pipeline. If there's more, go for it. But I'm at least getting that. Now, let's say there's not as many 5 stars. Like you're in a pipeline that you're in an area that doesn't have a lot of guys that are local. Then I'm going to go to the 3s, right? And again, I'm filtering in most cases probably by 4 stars. I don't want to just be throwing on 3 stars. And I want to be looking at 5 stars and 4 stars depending on the size of your school. So from here, what you're basically doing is going to the 3s. I'm getting some 3s in there. Now, when I get to that 18 point, like my 16th, 17th, 18th recruit, I'm going for guys that I think I just want to give a shot at. So let's say you have a wide receiver on the board that you see, He's out of pipeline like this guy right here, Castaneda. He's out of pipeline, but he's a physical receiver with 97 speed, and you're like, I need to have this guy. I at least want to take a shot. So my layered approach is basically going to be going for about 12 to 13 of your recruits. Again, scale this down for the size of your school and your hours. 12 to 13 of your recruits are going to be these 5-star pipeline guys, or these tier 5 pipeline guys. Then I'm going to be doing about maybe 3 to 4 in the 3 pipeline, depending. And the final 1 to 2 spots are going to be my flyer guys. That's going to be like this guy and maybe this guy who are elite prospects. They're super fast, but they're out of pipeline. Then when I come back to my board, I'm going to apply my 50 hours to all of them. So my 18 total recruits, going to advance the game. Now when we get to that next week or so, when visit starts to open up, now I'm going to reassess. So let's just say you really love those 2 out of pipeline guys. No one applied any visits to them, or there are visits. You can stay with them because of how cheap your tier 5 pipeline guys are. You could essentially put 10-point visits on them. So let's say you had 12 total guys you went with. 12 times 10 is 120 points per visit. So all you're going to do is drop 3 guys. 3 guys you have to drop to apply your visits. And as you guys know, this is the method we did last year, which is basically you would reassess your board after the first 2 advances and see like who were the cut candidates, and you utilize their gained points. When I say gained points, let's say there's 50 points in this guy. You hold Y on him, you take him off the board, you gain those points back. So by layering them, you're going to basically have 12 recruits that are in pipeline. You have a high interest level on them, and you can basically give every single one of them a visit, and that makes you very, very competitive for them. And then you're going to go after some 3-tier guys, 3-tier pipeline guys that are still going to probably be discounted, like maybe 15, 20, 25. And then you're going to go after a few flyers. Now, the reason you can go all in on those flyers, like 50 plus a 40-point visit, is because you're saving so much in the other guys. And that's going to be the best thing here, because also all 12 of those guys may not even need a visit because they're in pipeline. You're probably first or second on their list. And this is going to go a long way with being able to dominate year 1 and 2. Now, you may be asking, can I just go in a different direction? Do I have to go with my pipeline? Year 1 and 2 are very different for me. I've always told you guys this. The way I approach year 1 and 2 are very different. Year 1 and 2 for me is a few things. The first thing is cutting off your roster. You're going to have a lot of fluff on your roster year 1. There's going to be a lot of players, and you're going to go through position groups and be like, yeah, okay, so right here, I want this whole bottom half of the quarterback board cut. They're trash. They don't have good ceilings. Even the first guy, at least in this game, didn't get super high. I think he's going to have a much higher ceiling in next year's game the way they build him, and he's going to be a much higher overall in general as a senior. But the first year is about cutting your roster, bringing in high ceiling talent, bringing in a lot of talent in general because you need to reset this roster. And the third one, and most importantly, is unlocking elite recruiter and getting your foundation in the right direction. I've been saying this for a long time now, guys. If you mess up the first 2 or 3 years in CFB, you don't recruit well, you only bring in like 5 to 10 prospects, a lot of 3 stars, you don't get your elite recruiter. Not only are you going to be so behind in years 3 through 6 because now everyone else has a better foundation than you, you're building up bad recruits. The worst part really is that these other teams all start to quickly unlock elite recruiter in the first 3 years while you recruited poorly. And now in years 3 to 6, you're like, okay, it's time for me to get elite recruiter. I got to catch up. You're now competing with guys that have elite recruiter. And now you're in this perpetual cycle of really hoping that a guy misses an advance, some users drop off, some guys don't recruit well. You're really just hoping because you can't outplay them because they quite literally have better packages than you. So the first 2 years, this day 1 recruiting method will ensure a few things. First, can ensure efficiency, that you're bringing in players that A, have you high on their board, right? Because these guys that are in your pipeline have you tier the top of your board. This is an advanced week, obviously. I didn't apply actions, but they're going to have you in the top 3, 4, 5, 6. So you're going to be higher on their board. You're going to get pipeline bonuses. And most importantly, you could basically place the visit on every single one, which makes it so every single person out of your pipeline is going to have a hard time. If you're a really good school like LSU, Bama, Georgia, it's going to be quite impossible to beat you guys out within your pipeline, especially year 1 and 2. So that's an easy way to kind of like just boost for your elite recruiter. And more importantly, you're going to set your foundation up. Foundation, elite recruiter, you're going to be set, and you're going to be bringing in good guys. Bring in 5-star, 4 stars. Again, scale it to the size of your school. But this is going to be the best day 1 recruiting method. Layered approach. Make sure you're bringing in at least 70 to 80% of your recruits all in pipeline. Maybe even more than that, like I said. And only go for a few flyers. Year 1 and 2, that really fast guy is not going to make or break your season. That really good quarterback that has great speed, but then you get him and he has bad skill caps. And that's my problem is you go all in on those guys year 1. Let's say you made a full board of all these elite guys. And I've seen this so many times in my league, and it's always frustrated me. You make a full board of all these guys you're like, fast quarterback, tall, fast wide receiver. Guess what? You go for all 18 of them. By week 2 or 3 for visits, you got to cut about 4 or 5 of them. Okay, now you're down to 13. Then you lose about 50% of those battles, those recruiting battles. You end up with 6 total recruits, maybe 7. Then the second half wave comes around midseason, you go back into the board. There's only 3 stars and some bad 4 stars left. Now you end up with 6 players, which is not enough for a class, and then you're filling it with a bunch of bad players. You don't get elite recruiter, you don't set a good foundation, and honestly, there's a good chance a lot of these guys are just bust or have normal dev, etc. And then you end up in a situation where year 1 wasn't that great. Let's look to year 2. This isn't Madden. There's no free agency. There's no draft. There's the transfer portal, but still, you got to recruit well there too. So now you're kind of looking towards the next few seasons to catch up. This will ensure that you get elite recruiter early. It ensures that you're efficient. And this was my approach for CFB 25 basically too. Not the layered approach, as the pipeline bonuses weren't a thing with the discounted for local players. What I did was just staying efficient. Go after the 15, 20 players that all really want to be on my team. That way I ensured that I brought in talent early. I don't care if they weren't the fastest quarterback or they weren't the fastest wide receiver. All I cared about is that I was getting my team overall up, getting my team grades up, getting my elite recruiter quicker, and getting everything, and getting a lot of talent in. And then by year 2, 3, once I had my coach build coming in, right? Once we have the ideal coach build in, you then can say, okay, I got elite recruiter, my coach level's 30, I can afford to buy the packages. Now I'm going all in. Now when everyone else wasn't being efficient and they were going like, oh, year 1, I need that 92 speed quarterback, and they were messing up. Now by year 3 or 4, you have elite recruiter, they don't, you're dominating them, guys. This is the best day 1 method. I promise you, you want to be sticking to this. There will be changes in this year's game. I will make another video going over the best day 1 method right when that game's in my hands and kind of updating this a little bit. But based on the blog, based on this year's game, I feel like I'm right, like a 98% chance, 99% right there with what you need to know. And the reason I'm making this video now early, because a lot of you guys are going to get that game at midnight whenever the time drops, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you're going to be opening up your leagues and starting, and there's not going to be much time for me to put that out for you. So I'm getting it to you now for all you guys who are going to start very early, and to get you thinking about how this pipeline bonus is going to impact you guys. But that's about it, guys. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget, secret Father's Day sale. Don't forget to use the code Father's Day, capital F, capital D, for $60 off the annual plan. Father's Day 2025, capital F, capital D, $6 off the monthly plan. Best sale of the year. It's exclusive. It's technically offline, only for you guys. I didn't want my YouTube community to miss out on this, so make sure you take advantage. From the moment you're watching this video or it's posted, I'm gonna give it about 48 hours for all you guys, and then I'm dropping it, and then we're back to code launch the remainder of the way till it drop. And then after that, we're gonna be on a whole new promotion. So don't miss out, guys. Get ready for the game. Get ready. It's a recurring discount. So if you lock in the Father's Day deal now, you have it for as long as you want it, which is a great deal to have because it's a really big discount, guys. Take advantage. I'm out. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.